There's this interesting thing that happens when you tell people that you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, Nevada. They often say, hey, have you ever looked at relocating to Henderson, Nevada? Well, I did just that when I made the move to Las Vegas. And that's why in this video, I'm going to talk about the 7 reasons that so many people are moving to Henderson, Nevada. I've rolled up my sleeves so you know what time it is. It's time for us to get to work together. Let's go. Hey everybody, it's Dave Baker here with VegasAgents.com. Now if this is your first time on the channel and you want to learn everything about what it's like to live, to work, to eat, to sleep, and of course to play in Henderson, Nevada or Las Vegas, Nevada, make sure that you tap that little subscribe button and you give a click to that little bell so you'll be notified every time I put out a video all about what it's like to live in Las Vegas. Now, you know, I have just been talking to people constantly all about moving to Vegas, moving to Henderson, relocating to Summerlin, and even Boulder City. So if you are looking to make the move out here, you have got to reach out to us. Just send me a text message, send me an email, give me a call on the phone 24/7. Nights, weekends, whatever works for you, because we have your back when you're moving to Las Vegas. Our team has a passion for Las Vegas and the communities and the surrounding areas, and we just love it. And we want to share that with you and help you find the perfect place for you. So many people ask me specifically about moving to Henderson, Nevada, as opposed to Las Vegas, whenever they first start talking about Las Vegas. So that's why in this video, I want to dive into 7 reasons that so many people are moving to Henderson. Just to give you a little background, Henderson, of course, is the 2nd largest city in the state of Nevada. Obviously, it benefits from the same things as Las Vegas when it comes to things like a tax-free state, meaning there's no state income tax in Nevada, which is a major plus. But let's talk about 7 specific reasons so many people ask about Henderson as opposed to Las Vegas proper or Summerlin, which is also a really popular neighborhood. So, number 1, the housing prices. There is still a lot of opportunity to purchase a home in a variety of price ranges in Henderson. And I have to tell you, that makes me so happy. With everything that's going on, we see housing prices increasing and there's just so much demand to move out to Las Vegas. It's great to know that you can actually still pick up a home in the $200,000 price range. That means from $200,000 to $300,000, there are still homes available as of the time I'm making this video that you can purchase in Henderson. Now, obviously, those could be townhomes, there could be some condos in there, there might be some single family homes available too. But that gives people an opportunity to purchase that starter home that you might have been wanting, or to get a retirement home where you just don't have to worry anymore. Now, obviously, there's a huge range of prices because we have so many different neighborhoods inside of Henderson. All right, you have your starter homes, like I mentioned, but then you also have your upper echelon and more exclusive neighborhoods. So you have homes that range from, we'll say the $200,000 to $300,000 range, all the way up to the millions. You have some beautiful homes that are custom. You have homes that were made by developers that were created inside of a subdivision that a developer built out. So there really is something for everybody. And if you're thinking of bringing your whole family out, this is a great place for it because Henderson lets people of all ages pick up a house or a condo or a townhouse, whatever's right for you. I know that when I talk to people, sometimes they're looking for a condo or they're looking for a townhouse. They don't want to take care of a big yard. I get it. I understand why someone wouldn't want to do that. And then you also get the benefits of an association. Like you might get the benefits of a swimming pool or a clubhouse or maybe a recreation room or something fun to do, kind of a community association. So with so many neighborhoods to choose from, you know, you've got Seven Hills, you've got McDonald Ranch, you have some of the newer developments that were just built. I still see signs when I'm driving at new developments where you have housing in a variety of prices. If you have a budget around 400 to 500,000, you're going to have a lot more options, and above 500,000, you'll have even more options available. Obviously, the more you have on your plate, the more options you're going to have when it comes to purchasing a house, because you'll be able to find something in a variety of price ranges. So that brings me to reason number 2, the great neighborhoods in Henderson. Henderson has been around for many years. It's not a brand new city. A lot of people, when they talk to me about Las Vegas, they ask about Summerlin because it's known for being newer. While that's true, that also means that not every region is fully developed, and that you are still seeing some infrastructure being put in newer parts of the city. But in Henderson, it's a really mature city with a lot of mature neighborhoods. And a mature neighborhood means that you have infrastructure, like sidewalks, sewer systems, and even more than that, you have parks that have been created, you have the paths. So many things have already been established that you don't have to wait for them to come along. And for a lot of us, that's nice. I realize that along with my own views, many people share it, that they don't want to wait for something to be built. There are some people who tell me, hey, I'll buy a house that's way out there, and even though there's not a supermarket for 10 or 15 miles, it's okay because I'll just wait for it. And they might get a better deal for that. I understand. But in Henderson, it's so well developed already that you have pretty much everything you're going to need right in town. There are a lot of neighborhoods that I like in Henderson. I mentioned before you have Seven Hills, which is a nice neighborhood. McDonald's Ranch is a great neighborhood. You have Whitney Ranch, you have Anthem neighborhood, you've got Lake Las Vegas, and then there are many other areas inside of the city that are really well built out with homes that have been built 30, 40 years ago, all the way up to newer homes. If you drive down one of the major streets like St. Rose, you can see that they are building more and more homes. You have apartments popping up on one side of this major street, and then new developments that you can turn into on St. Rose Parkway, which is a major street in Henderson on that side. As a reminder, of course, that St. Rose Parkway, which we talked about in other videos, that's where it connects to Highway 15 at the westernmost corner of the city, and where that paved path I like for biking and hiking is. That's where one of the first entrances is. And you can really just go for miles on that path. It's so nice. I'm so glad they added it to the city, because as a guy who likes to get outside a little bit, likes to hop on his bike or take my scooter out, I love having that path. That's one of the perks of being in a mature city. Mature, again, meaning, the development is that you have things like these paths and trails, and they let you go for a bike ride or a walk or take your dog out or push a stroller or whatever you want to do in an area that's separate from the cars. So it's not just a sidewalk, it's actually got like some sort of barrier. Maybe it could be a beautiful rock pattern that's been laid out, it could be a grassy area, it could be trees, it could be many different things. But it's so nice to have that to walk because it gives you a little separation. And I think that is a wonderful part of a city. So let's move on to the next reason. And that will be number 3. Henderson is considered a safe community. I've been doing a little research to get some more official numbers, and obviously these are just coming off the internet. But when you look at some websites, you'll see that Henderson has quite a low crime score. It's actually really impressive. So these crime scores are on a scale of 0 to 100. 0 being the safest, and 100 being having more crime or a higher rate of criminality, if you want to get a little formal. And in some types of crime, Henderson was rated as only having an 11. An 11 on a scale of 0 to 100. Congratulations, that is awesome. Because the national average was somewhere around 22.5 or 22.7 for the crime score in this category. And Henderson was half of that. That is amazing. And I believe that one was for violence, or violent crimes. And you likely, like me, want to live in a place without a lot of violent crime, right? So when you see that low score, it's reassuring. It's also been rated as one of the safest cities in many categories in America by several well-known publications. So once again, that kind of reinforces it because they're using statistics, not just our opinion, right? Sure, I feel great when I'm walking down the street. I might go to dinner on Eastern Avenue, then I might want to walk somewhere up the street where they have some dessert. Of course, you know, Vegas and Henderson and Summerlin are just full of good dining. So there's a good chance you'll eat at one place for dinner and walk over to another place for dessert. But just when I go for a walk over there, I feel really comfortable, and I like that. I think that it helps distinguish it even more from Las Vegas proper itself. So I'm gonna definitely make sure that, you know, safety is in the pros list, because that is a priority for a lot of us. Whether you have a family or you just want to feel comfortable or whatever it is, it's a major pro to live in a city where you feel really comfortable and safe. Me, I love it. All right, let's jump into number 4. Henderson is close to Las Vegas, right? Why does that matter? Well, it's not in Las Vegas, right? Las Vegas, Nevada is its own city, and Henderson, Nevada is a separate city. But what's cool about Henderson is that it has its own personality and its own vibe, if you will. When you think about Las Vegas, you think of it probably as a tourist city, right? A place that's focused on tourism, which makes sense. It's a huge industry there. Although, I'll just give you a little bonus note. I don't know if you know this, but one of the biggest industries in Nevada is not actually linked to gambling or casinos or anything of that sort. Do you want to take a second and guess what it is? If you guessed mining, that actually will be correct. That is one of the biggest industries in the state. A lot of people are really surprised to hear that. And hey, you just learned something new. Huh? It's kind of an educational video as well. But here's what I like. You get the benefits of Las Vegas, right? You do have the tourism, you have the conventions, and keep in mind, as a local, you might go to a convention. I've been to conventions for all kinds of things. They're not just business conventions like meetings and seminars. They have conventions for like the pet show, which is really cool if you have dogs or cats or other pets and you just want to see all the cool new stuff. Obviously, there's a consumer electronics show, which is world famous. People from all over the world come to that. But then you have other little shows like different kinds of antiques. You have music shows. You have all kinds of interesting things. There's an auto show. I believe there's a motorcycle show. So many things that as a local you can benefit from because you just live next door, right? That's great. And if you watch my videos, you probably know that I love convenience. And what's more convenient than going to a national or international convention just by driving a few streets away or hopping on the 15 or hopping on Highway 215 and heading over to Vegas where the conventions are. I love the convenience of it. It's actually, for me, a little bit of a form of entertainment to get to go to those things. So I definitely put that in the pros list. But here's the thing. Henderson, it's, again, being its own city, they have their own focus on their development and their growth. Okay, so Henderson has its own economic development organization or board. They have their own chamber of commerce. They have things where they're really focused on their community for residents, right? So it's not tourism focused, it's focused on the residents. Now, Vegas does a great job of giving us so much stuff to do as locals, as residents in Vegas, but Henderson is gonna have a focus on their own city. And as a city of around, I believe it's 350,000 people, give or take, let's say it's between 300 and 350,000 the last time I checked, they have a place that's big enough to attract businesses and to attract different types of growth and development, while at the same time the city's not so big that they can't keep it organized and nice. And when I drive around Henderson, I can say that I like some of the way it's laid out, the organizational structure. You know, they've definitely done a good job of connecting the paths and the roads and the side streets and things like that. It doesn't feel difficult to drive around, which again, I think is important because when you live somewhere, that's where you spend most of your time, right? Unless you're traveling for work or doing something like that, that's where you're at. So again, it's that different vibe of being its own city. So let's jump into our next item on the list as to why so many people are moving to Henderson, and that is number 5, outdoor activities. Now, if you've watched my videos about Las Vegas and Summerlin and different regions, you've heard me mention this before. But did you know that Henderson itself has about 64 parks? 64 parks in one city. That is a huge number. That means that your community might have its own green space or its own outdoor place where you can do fun things. On top of the parks, you have about 80 miles of trails. 80 miles for biking, hiking, walking, scootering, running, if that's your thing. Whatever outdoor activity you like has about 80 miles of trails. I mean, that is a lot of time. Obviously, if you want to walk all 80 miles, that might take you a year or two just to experience it. And when you move to a new city, you probably really want to see a lot of the different neighborhoods and know where you can get outside a little bit. So on top of that, there are some other key things that are right over there, right? Henderson keeps you very close to Lake Mead. So that means that if you are, for example, a boater or a boat owner or a jet ski or personal watercraft owner, then you'll be much closer to the water. And you can take out your boat to Lake Mead and you'll be able to have that fun experience right there. So you live in the desert, but you've got the lake. On top of that, you're also close to Lake Las Vegas. Lake Las Vegas is actually located in Henderson. And Lake Las Vegas is an entirely unique development focused around the lake, of course, which is like a spin-off of Lake Mead. It's got some really cool houses. It's got this Italian style strata or place where you can go walk, like a promenade. It's got shopping areas, and of course you have the hotel and resort, but as a local you won't be vacationing there most likely, although you can. And that's really great because again, you're bringing a nice feature to a community that's very close to you. And along with that, you have access to activities that are easy to get to that you might not have in other parts of the Las Vegas Valley. For example, if you live in Summerlin, you'll be close to Red Rock National Park, but you'll be much further from Lake Mead. Now, if for some reason you have to commute to Arizona, you'll also be a little bit closer. It's not a significant difference, but you are just a little bit closer. All right, let's move on to item number 6. A home with a view. So as things change in the world and people are spending more and more time at home, different things seem to be becoming more important to people. And one thing that I'm noticing people talk about, and something I think about as well, is what is it like to be in my house and what is very close in proximity to my house. So in the past, for example, let's say you lived in a place where you wake up in the morning, you just go to work, and then you would do something after work and then come home. So the amount of time you spent at home was much lower. You would spend more time at work, you might go out with friends more. Well, now that some people have the option to work from home, they're spending a lot more time from home, a lot more time at home. So I've noticed that people have brought up different things. People are talking about having yards, which is definitely something that's available in Henderson because you find homes that were built in a different time period. And when you think about brand new homes, a lot of the homes people say, oh gosh, they don't build them like they used to. We used to have yards. Today people always say things to me like really brand new homes that are not in the, $1 million budget range seem to have much smaller yards or almost no yard at all. But what's great about Henderson is you do get the option for homes that have a backyard, even a front yard. And also, what I was just mentioning about the home with the view is that because of the different elevations, you can actually get a home that has a really great view of the Las Vegas Valley. So that could mean different things. That could mean that you see the Las Vegas Strip, which even as a local, is beautiful to see at night, right? It's nice during the day, but at night, the sparkling lights are just, there's something magical about them. You know there's just an energy over there. And that energy and that feeling, it gets me pumped. It gets my entrepreneurial spirit excited. It gets me just excited. It makes you feel alive to see all the lights flickering and the energy. Now, don't worry. It's far enough away from the Las Vegas Strip that they're not literally flickering in your window in an inconvenient way. But what's so cool about these houses is when you drive up some of the main streets, like let's say you're going up a major street like Eastern Avenue, and don't worry if you don't know where that is. When you reach out to us and you send us an email or text us, we'll be able to set up a time where you'll be able to see all the different areas. So don't worry if you can't find it on the map right now. We're gonna show you around. But when you drive up, you're going uphill and you're going up to an area called Anthem. And as you go up there, what you'll realize is a lot of the homes are on different elevations, and that gives you the view. That gives you an amazing sunset view. Okay, watching the sun go down over the desert is much different than watching it in other places. You really see the sun set and go to sleep at night over the skyline. It's really beautiful. And that's something that's really cool about a lot of parts of Henderson is those views that you get. And if you're spending a lot of time at home, let's say you work from home and then maybe you went out and took a walk or something and you came home and you had dinner and you didn't go out to eat, you could sit out in your backyard hopefully or on a balcony or on your patio and watch the sun go down while you watch the Las Vegas Strip come to life at night. And that's something you can only get in certain neighborhoods, obviously due to the landscape and the elevation and things like that. So there's so much to be said for the environment there. Because you have homes that are from many different decades, you have a lot of different options for how much outdoor space you're gonna get. In some places, of course, you can even get casitas, which will be little additional dwelling units, if you will, or like a little one-bedroom homes that are maybe separate from your home, but on your property. I've seen places that have 2 casitas. So that's perfect if you wanna have like quarters for your in-laws, or you wanna have friends visit as well. I've seen really, actually super cool casitas, or the separate units where they'll have a restroom, a shower, a little micro kitchen, and then a bedroom, and then maybe a small den area. And that's on your same property. So when you have your guests visit, they can come stay out there and feel like they're on their own vacation. Now, another thing you could do with it, which I'd like to do, is turn it into your media room or your rec room, where you go out and that's where you watch TV and just kick back and have a good time. If you have a lot of guests, which, by the way, on a little side note, when you move to Las Vegas, a lot of people are going to want to visit you. I don't know if you know about this, but a lot of people want to come visit you in Las Vegas when you come out there. So what's really cool is if you're looking for something like that, you can just let us know, because we can research homes that specifically have that to meet your needs. And I think it's just something really special to have. It's like you have your house and then you have your mini house, your little house next door. But it's yours. It's on your property. It's yours. It's like having a little bonus house. It's like your house had a kid, and then you got to keep it. It's a great little place. I love it. So, yeah, I think that's another major plus, that you have that opportunity in the Henderson neighborhood. So that leaves us with item number 7 on the list. Henderson is a place to call home. That's literally the city's motto. Henderson, a place to call home. And that kind of takes me back to one of the other reasons that I was mentioning that it's so popular. It's that Henderson, being its own city, separate and distinct from Las Vegas, although it's adjacent and right next door, it's that the people developing the city are really bringing things into it to make it new and interesting and focused on the community there. On top of that, what's already established there is all the home that most people need in terms of the city where they live. So what I'm talking about here is when you're in Henderson, you have everything you need. You have lots of places for shopping. You have a very good amount of dining with a large variety of food options for both, breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert. You've got coffee shops. You've got the really popular milk tea places. All that stuff is right there in the city. You have a massive, massive shopping mall, the Galleria at Sunset. It's huge. And again, that's right there in Henderson. It's got so many of the major stores. And so you can actually, go down and touch something and try it before you buy it. It's such a different experience than shopping online. Some people might call it the old days, but I don't think we're quite there yet. So there is still time to go to some really cool malls. And the one in Henderson is huge. On top of that, you have a lot of outdoor mall experiences, or what some people call strip malls, but these are much bigger than that, where you'll have a lot of different things, a lot of commerce, little unique stores, local places. You also have a lot of local dining, meaning not chain restaurants. You have places that are local, locally owned, and the food is really made from the heart of the owner. And I think that's really special. It's always great to support a local business if you can. On top of that, you have Green Valley Resort and Spa, which is, of course, a casino. But if you've been watching my videos, you do know that when I say casino for locals, that doesn't even mean you have to go to play. You can certainly go there. You can play some of the different games they have. You can play bingo if you'd like, but they have stuff for you to do there that's different than playing. They, again, have tons of restaurants inside the casinos. They have a lot of variety. They have a great place to watch sports. If you're a sports fan and you like football or baseball or basketball or horse racing, you can go there and watch on these gigantic screens. I mean, when you watch on a screen like this, it's hard to believe you ever watch something on your phone. I wonder how big some of those screens are. They must be hundreds of inches. No matter how big a screen you get for your home, what you see in these sports books are amazing. Sometimes, if you want, you could watch 10 different games at one time. And it's so fun because you're around other sports enthusiasts. You can go there, kick back, have a drink, enjoy the comfy chairs. It's just a lot of fun. Of course, they have spa services as well. And they have events like music on the grass type of events, or music in their amphitheaters, or different shows that you can see. And the pricing is much more competitive. The pricing for these local things is, again, not targeted at tourists so much. It's to bring you in. When you move out here, you're gonna wanna go to some of these things. You'll see some of the stuff going on. They advertise it really well, so there's a lot of announcements. You also get some cool coupons in the mail, where sometimes you might get a free dinner, or you might get invited to some other type of event just for being a local. And that's one of those secret perks about living in Las Vegas or living in Henderson that's really unique. I can't imagine another place where they have things like this, where just because you live somewhere, you get invited by a hotel or resort, and then you get to go to an event, again, just because you're a local. In fact, if you ever have to show your ID for something, when people look at it and they say, oh, you're local, oh, great. It's this cool feeling of community. And that's what I'm talking about when I bring up the logo of the city, a place to call home. It's that feeling of community. Henderson definitely has its own feeling of community that's distinct from Las Vegas. They have their own things going on. You have a little parade that happens there. They have outdoor market type of events. And those are likely going to draw other local people in, which is really cool. Now, those are some of the things that have really been established in the community. But also they're building new homes, like I mentioned, and some other new subdivisions that are kind of unique. Now, one subdivision that's very interesting to me is Cadence. If you haven't heard about it, it's gonna be a huge new place where you're gonna have like a central park, a splash pad. You're gonna have things just for the local community. And if you wanna know all about that place, just mention that when you send a text message to us. Let us know you wanna know about Cadence and what's going on there, and if there's any opportunity there. It's gonna be on the eastern side of the city. And it's something that I think we're gonna see across the country more and more, where you build like a subdivision or a community where you have a real focus on people being able to stay right in their neighborhood and do fun things together. And that's something that I really love, because I love walkability, which, by the way, we need to touch on, don't we? Henderson actually has some walkable neighborhoods. You can live right off some of the key streets. You can even live behind a gate in a gated community, or you could live in an open community without a gate, and you could just walk out of your house, walk down the street a little bit, and be right next to the commerce. That's a really special thing because there aren't that many places that I see that offer walkability. So again, you know, I just love convenience, and walkability to me is, whoa, the ultimate convenience. It's just the ultimate convenience. And if that's something that you love as much as I do, make sure you mention that too when you send us an email or text, whatever is good for you. If you want to try to find a place that has a little sense of walkability, that is actually available. I just love that. Personally, I just love to walk everywhere, take my bicycle or take my scooter out and just head over someplace in 5 or 10 minutes without even driving. It's just so fun that way. I don't know what it is. There's something about that feeling. And lastly, I did mention Green Valley Resort, which is a great place. It's huge, got a lot of stuff going on there. But there also is other nightlife there, right? There's a scene, of course, for various bars. And I don't know if you know this, but when you come to Las Vegas, you'll notice that a lot of the bars are also restaurants that serve food. Many are open 24 hours. So depending on when you work or if you have shift work and you get off late, you could actually go out pretty much any time of the night. You can get dinner. You can play if you want to. You don't have to. You don't even have to have a drink at a bar. You can just go and have dinner. I've had some great dinners at some of my favorite local bars. They have quite a variety on their menus. It's surprising because if you come from another place, you might go to a bar where they say, well, we're just a bar. But when you come here, you'll notice a lot of them are serving food. And like I mentioned, there is a huge food selection all through Henderson. You have so many options. Some well-known local favorites, you know, you've got like Hash House, A Go-Go, had opened off the Strip. You have just a bunch of different options. Some local ones, some chains, but you know, you have quite a few things to choose from. And one last piece of commerce I wanted to mention was over at the District, which is by the Green Valley Resort, but it's not on the resort premises. It is like across the street. That also has a really cute feel. They have these cafe lights that hang outside, and you have a cool little environment where you can walk around and eat and just enjoy the outside. All right, everybody, so there you have it. Those are 7 of the main reasons that people are flocking to Henderson, Nevada. There's so much more to the city than people even know. I think when people first come to Las Vegas, they've heard of Henderson, they know it's there. But if you're coming as a tourist, once again, it's not really your focus. But when you're moving out to Vegas and you want to look at Henderson and you want to say, is this the place that's right for me? This can help you decide. And you can just let us know if that's the feeling you want, if you're looking for that smaller town feel that's adjacent to a big city. And for me, I think that's something that's great. That's a new term that I've been using. I'm looking for something that's city adjacent. You know, I want to have all the benefits of the city, but I don't necessarily want to live in that exact city. I want to live in a micro suburb. And it is a little bit of a suburb because, you know, although there are just a few cities in the whole county, it's not Las Vegas. It's its own area, its own community, its own heart, its own vibe, and it's definitely right for so many people. I actually love it over there. I go over all the time, just for a variety of different reasons. They do also have a water park there, by the way. Someone had made a comment or asked me, is there anywhere to go just to cool off? And there's a water park there too. So if you have a family or kids and that's something that you enjoy, that is available. All right, now don't forget to make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure to click the little notification bell. Whenever I see a new subscriber, it just gets me so pumped. It makes me just want to put out more videos telling you all about Las Vegas and all about Henderson. It inspires me. I love to see it. It makes me feel like I'm there for you. Now, if you are, again, thinking about relocating to Henderson, make sure that you send me a text message, write me an email, or just give me a call, whatever works for you. Anytime, day or night, we'll get in touch and we will help you with your move to Henderson, Nevada. All right, everybody, I will see you in the next video. Take care.